This conference.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Guys, am I
Good afternoon.
audible to all of
Good
you?
afternoon.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
It
yes.
is audible.
Hi, good afternoon. Okay, so good to see you. A lot of people joined. So, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for 2-3 more minutes. I'm expecting 10 more people joining this session. So, in the meanwhile, I would request you to set up your expectations as well. So we are going to have a agenda today that we're going to discuss. But in the meanwhile, if there is any specific expectation that you have from this session, I would request you to put it on the comment section, and I'll see if we can take it up uh, before the session also. So just wait for 5 minutes, and then we are going to start. Okay, so I think we should start. It's already 3:05. So, guys, I welcome all of you to join the Six Sigma awareness session, and thank you so much for joining. So, we are going to have this session for the next 2 hours, wherein we are going to discuss something about Six Sigma. The basic purpose is to make you aware of what Six Sigma is. I see most of you, and I know few of you already. Who have already gone through Six Sigma training. Some of you are already green belt.
Simar, your voice is distorted. Maybe it is for me or for everybody.
And black belt certified. And some of
Yeah, it's
you might
breaking.
not have.
See.
That his voice is breaking.
have gone through any Six Sigma official training, but the way I've designed this particular program is that you all can get updates around the Six Sigma official training. But the way I've designed this particular program is that you all can get updates on the Six Sigma official training. So guys, am I audible?
Simmer, it is breaking a lot. We cannot hear a single line. At least I'm not able to listen to a single word.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, same here. It's in and out.
Okay, thanks Rakesh and Amar for highlighting. So guys, what I was saying is my intent of conducting these sessions is because a lot of us have a lot of theoretical knowledge about Six Sigma, right? But when it comes to applying Six Sigma, deploying Six Sigma, we face a lot of challenges because we don't have that much exposure towards it. So this is not the only workshop that I'll be conducting. I'll keep on conducting these workshops uh, very frequently. I will notify you on the WhatsApp community or maybe on LinkedIn so that you all can get updates around it. So I would suggest all of you to make this session very, very interactive. I would suggest please feel free to ask me as much question as you can. And that's the only expectation that I have. And that's how we will be able to learn it. So today's session is going to be for 2 hours, but I would stay for like 15 more minutes towards the end, and we'll see if there's any question or not. So we are going to make it a live session. We will have a lot of more sessions coming up in the future. So don't expect that you will be an expert after the end of this session. This is just the beginning. As I said, my target audience is not only who are already aware of Six Sigma, but my target audience is also those who have no knowledge about Six Sigma. So please bear with me if you find some topics which you're already aware of, wherein you are master of it. But yes, the intent is to share my knowledge, experience, so that we all can learn together, right? So and let me just give you my introduction as well. My name is Simarpreet and I've got 18 years of work experience. I've been working with Genpact, and I've worked with organizations like BT, uh, Cognizant, R Systems, and Max Life Insurance. And my overall experience into process excellence Six Sigma is around 12 to 13 years, wherein I've worked for different domains like finance, telecom, banking, as well as customer services and operations as well. So in these sessions, I will be sharing a lot of examples from different domains as well, so that you all will be able to relate. In today's session, we are going to do a some of practical aspect as well, so that we can understand it. Guys, am I audible? I see some messages where people are saying that they're not able to hear me, but
Yeah, loud and clear.
All is well. All is well now. Yeah.
okay,
No, you are
great.
audible now.
Okay, great. So guys, people who are not able to hear me, I would request you to please log in once again so that you'll be able to, uh, hear me properly. So that's the expectation. And guys, I will not be able to take expectation from all 43 of you, but in case if you have any questions or if you have any expectation, though I have shared my agenda as well, that this will not be a full-fledged training, but if there's any agenda, if there's any expectation that we have from anyone, would request you to please speak up, or you can put your questions on the comment section as well. Any question anybody has, or any uh, expectation anybody has from this session before I start?
The expectation is for people who already know about Six Sigma is to get them more exposure in the practical environment, as you have already worked for many companies. And people who are new to Six Sigma, they will come to know that why Six Sigma is important and how it helps the businesses grow further, find out their errors and fix them using Lean Six Sigma methodology. And for us also, this is the expectation that if we have lacked somewhere, we'll be repairing our knowledge. And if we are learning something new, that's going to be a good experience for us.
Thank you so much, Vinod, for for setting up the context, and that's what exactly I resonate with what you said. Definitely this training is going to helpful for all of us, but having said, this is not the only training. You might find that you may not have learned something today, but yes, maybe in the upcoming sessions we will have something to come forward for. Sandeep is talking about the practical projects. Yes, that's the way forward. I'll share towards the end that how we can leverage the projects as well, and I can provide the assistance on how we can execute it. So since it's going to be a series of sessions, and I would like to start it from the beginning, right? And that's how we are going to catch up the projects, maybe not today, but maybe 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later when I will be doing the session. Okay. Yes, Satish, it is started. We were just setting up the expectation, and you have just joined in time. So let me just take it forward, guys. I hope you're able to see my screen. That's the home page. I'm going to move to the next screen. So just allow me a minute.
Simar Gunbir this side. Just one expectation more. While not in this session, maybe in further sessions, if you can give some use cases from manufacturing sector also, that would also be great.
Absolutely. So that is the intent that you may have joined just now, but I said in the beginning that the examples that we're going to take would be from all the sectors so that everybody can take the most out of it. Okay, sure.
Thank you.
No worries. So guys, just very simple code of conduct. This is what I keep in all my sessions. This is, we all are professionals, but having said, request everybody's presence. If you have any questions, please ask it. Please raise hand on the chat window or ask respect for others, and please make sure that we enjoy as well while we learn, because this is, you're investing 2 hours, and I'm sure you will, at the end of this session, you would say to yourself that yes, you have learned something. So this was just the basic stuff. So guys, people were just new to Six Sigma, I just want to make you aware that there are different levels of Six Sigma belts which are available. It starts from the basic level, which is yellow belt, wherein the person needs to have the basic knowledge of Lean Six Sigma terminology, a very light knowledge about uh, how to identify the opportunities, how to work on it, but the impact, I would say, is very, very less. Okay. The next level is green belt. Green belt is the one who is kind of working on medium impact related problems, not that high impact, but yes, the problem related to a process level. So for example, you're working for a finance process, you're working for a manufacturing process, you're working for a telecom process. So a problem which is limited to that particular process only, you would be able to solve using the green belt project or green belt certification. Okay, so the green belt is an individual who supports the black belt as well. Okay, moving on to the black belt. Black belt related projects are those which are driven at an organizational level. If you're trying to solve something at an organizational level which is linked to the organization strategy, for example, you're trying to solve the attrition at an organizational level, which is one of the important problem of an organization. If you're trying to reduce the cost of an organization, that could come into a black belt. So black belt projects are those which are driven at an organizational level, which is impacting the either the P&L of the organization or the balance sheet of the organization. Okay, and the master black belt certification is the one is for those who have got certain amount of experience as a black belt role. Okay, and master black belts are the ones who are the leaders whose responsibility is to drive a culture of continuous improvement within the organization. Okay, so nowadays, guys, yellow belt is not that available. Everything is being part of green belt now. So we can start with the green belt and then moving on to black and then master black belt. So that's how this entire training works. And uh, people who are already black belt should aim for master black belt, and people who are green belt should aim for black belt. So we'll talk more about it. This is just the beginning, and that's how we are going to talk about. So Sandeep, we'll talk about champion in just a while. We are just talking about the levels now. When we talk about the roles of the project, then we'll talk about who's the champion and who's the sponsor. Okay, so that is what about the levels that I wanted to make you aware. Moving on to the next slide, guys. People who have no knowledge about Six Sigma, this is a slide for them, and people who already are aware, probably they can add to what I missed. Just a small history about Six Sigma. It was introduced in 1986 by Motorola and by an engineer called Mr. Bill Smith. He was the one who introduced Six Sigma at that point in time, and you can see from 1986 till date, Six Sigma is being used prevalently. Okay, so Motorola was the first manufacturing company who started Six Sigma. Uh, does anybody know who from the service sector started with the Six Sigma?
G.
G, yeah, absolutely. So G, General Electrics, was the first organization from the service industry who started with the Six Sigma, but from manufacturing it was Motorola. Okay. Yes, I will be sharing this slide at the end. So that is what is the beginning of the Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is basically a step-by-step approach of solving business problems. Okay, it is being used by many organizations for standardization perspective as well. Since it's not a one-time approach, people do Six Sigma, people do improvement projects, and then they do it for better as well. The major benefit of Six Sigma that it enhance the customer satisfaction and ensure error-free processes. For example, if I take the example of insurance process, right? You go to you go and apply for insurance, right? In that particular case, you been getting a lot of calls because the form that you filled was not filled properly. You being a customer is being impacted a lot of times because the customer service is calling you again and again. Why can't it be done first time right? Okay, so Six Sigma is also about improvement, error-free services, so that it helps improve the quality and enhance the customer satisfaction. And last but not the least, it also ensures that we have a defect-free environment in the entire process, so that there is no defect at all. So that is what a very high level about Six Sigma. We have a lot of slides wherein we'll talk about where all it is being deployed. But people who have no knowledge about Six Sigma, or maybe they have any question at this point in time, anybody has?
Hi, Simar, Saurabh this side.
I thought.
Simar, so my question is related to the exact definition of Six Sigma. Isn't it the Six Sigma is a process of reducing the variation in the process, and the lean is the thing when we talk about the reduction of the defects, or so defect reduction. So lean is kind of defect reduction, and Six Sigma is the process where we reduce the variation in the process.
Okay.
I mean,
So yeah. So
am
very
I
well
right?
said. Yeah. So very well said. Six Sigma is not only about reducing the variation, it is also about reducing the defect as well. When you improve something, let's say there are a lot of defects, or there are a lot of breakages, there are a lot of errors that we're receiving from the customer. If we're trying to solve them, we're trying to reduce the defects, right? So Six Sigma is not only about reducing the variation, it is about reducing the defect as well. So we are not going to talk about lean in this session. I have kept lean for a different session. So that's how I will compare Six Sigma with the lean. We're at a very initial stage as of now. I'll talk about what is variation and everything, but uh, that's the reason I haven't said variation as of now. But we are just focusing on that how Six Sigma helps solving business problems.
So, Simar, this is Ashish. Isn't one of the objective is to reduce or eliminate the non-value added process steps, or is that part of the lean? I mean, am I confusing Six Sigma with the
So
lean?
Ashish, when we're talking about reducing the non-value added, that majorly part of the lean,
Okay.
right? Wherein when we say about lean, which means we are reducing the non-value added stuff. So I will talk about some bit of it today. What is value added, non-value added? That's already incorporated in the slide. So just wait for like 5-10 minutes, and I will take you through to that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for that. Yeah.
No worries. So moving on, and now the very important topic, or maybe that what is the applicability of Six Sigma in different sectors. Okay, so here we are going to take a lot of examples from different industry, so that you can relate that how Six Sigma is being helpful in different organizations to solve business problems. Karan is asking, is CSAT also part of Six Sigma? Yes, Karan. We can solve, we can improve the customer satisfaction score using Six Sigma as well. So I'll talk about it in the next slides, and then you will be able to see. So guys, this slide, if you see, talks me a lot of things. What is the heading of this slide? The heading says, where is or can Six Sigma be applied? So if you see on this slide, you see whether you are in service sector, whether you are in design, whether you are in purchase, production, IT, HR, quality department, any department that you are in, you will be able to deploy Six Sigma successfully there. And the best part is, guys, for example, today you are in HR and you have learned Six Sigma. Tomorrow you move to finance. You don't have to learn Six Sigma again. Six Sigma principles are very structured, and it can be applicable anywhere. You just need to learn the domain knowledge of that particular industry. However, everything remains the same. So that's the best part, that this is a methodology which is designed in such a way that it not only target any particular domain, it target how to solve business problem in a very easy and simple manner, which is step by step. So that's how I have kept this slide, just to make you aware that if you've been feeling that, oh, Six Sigma might not be applicable for me, uh, that's just a kind of confidence that I've kept this slide to give you, that Six Sigma is kind of applicable in all the departments, no matter which department that you are in currently. Okay, these are some of the examples that I have kept here for different sectors. So I have tried to keep it for few of the sectors, but yes, I'll be open for all the questions. So if you are in banking or you're in manufacturing, Six Sigma can be applied. Few examples in a banking industry: if you want to reduce the total cycle time to process loan application. Okay, so guys, cycle time is a total time from the customer when he places a request for the loan till the time loan is disbursed to the customer's account. Okay, so if there's a lot of time being taken to do that, Six Sigma can be done in identifying opportunities at how we can improve the customer satisfaction. Streamlining the credit evaluation system. So in banking process, people who are from banking, and I think everybody relates to banking, because anytime you apply for some loan or you apply for an account, there is some credit check happens, just to check your background history, just to check whether you are capable enough to handle that account. Sometimes that particular process is very stringent and very complex in nature. You can improve that using Six Sigma. Reduce time for account opening process. Okay, very simple. You can improve the accuracy, timeliness, and completeness of customer communication. Guys, in all the service sector, either banking, insurance, finance, customer communication plays a very vital role. Because if you're not interacting with the customer and not communicating to the customer that how long does it take to resolve your services, or how long does it take to process your application, we are failing badly. So that's how Six Sigma also improves the communication, no matter whether it's banking, finance, or anywhere. And having said, customer satisfaction is bound to come. Okay, let's take some example from manufacturing. It helps to reduce the waste from the process, and waste could be anything. If there is any breakages, if there are any repair, if there's any rework, reducing the inventory. So guys, when I say inventory, that can be applicable to service industry also. And inventory means there are a lot of goods which are in WIP, which are work in progress. For example, you are working for a glass manufacturing organization wherein glass are not being prepared yet, they are in the middle of it. They are in the process. It cannot be sold to the final customer. It's a waste because it will impact the cash flow and the balance sheet of the organization. So that's why that is a big opportunity in the manufacturing environment. Increasing the production capacity, very simple as the name suggests. A machinery is supposed to produce 5,000 t-shirts in a day, but it is producing only 2,000. I can do a Six Sigma project to identify the root causes and improve it. Okay, so these are few examples of manufacturing, and guys, the best part is that either it is manufacturing or service, uh, these examples can be applicable everywhere, because in service we follow transactions, we work on customer applications. In manufacturing, we prepare products, we make goods, and that's how we sell it to the customers. I have few more examples from the telecom sector as well as hospitality. Okay, let's talk about hospitality, wherein we have wherein the improve is reducing wait time.
Simranji,
Yes,
hello.
Sandeep.
Yeah, I have one question. May you go to last slide?
Okay, give me a second. Yeah.
Regarding this in manufacturing sector, you mentioned reducing waste from process. I think basically it's come under the category of lean, reducing inventory and the waste from process. It is under the category of lean, basically.
So
Am I
so
right?
now, so let me just clarify that when we talk about Six Sigma, we not only talk about Six Sigma, we talk about Lean Six Sigma. So you may have heard now Lean and Six Sigma working together. When we
Yes.
go through the training, when we go through the entire training of Lean Six Sigma, there are a lot of concepts of Lean can be applied in Six Sigma project as well. There are a lot of concepts of Six Sigma can be applied in Lean as well, right? So when I talk about Six Sigma, it is not only Six Sigma, it is Lean Six Sigma as well.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So yeah, so we will have a session on Lean as well. Not today, then you guys would be able to relate to what I'm talking about, and we will do a lot of practical demonstration as well, so that you can understand some of the basic Lean tools like Judoka, 5 Eyes, uh, Tim Woods, and that's how, and 5S as well, and that's how we will be able to relate how we can reduce the waste or maybe streamline the manufacturing process or reducing the inventory.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for clarification.
No worries, no worries, Sandeep. So moving on to the hospitality industry, guys, not too much time, take much time because we have a lot to cover. But yes, just to give you a confidence that when we go to any restaurant, when we go to any hotel, you see there are a lot of opportunities there, right? Sometimes when you visit to a hotel, next time you don't feel like going there because of some XYZ services. Maybe you don't like the cleanliness, maybe you don't like the hygiene factor, maybe you don't like the way you're being treated. All the problems that you can imagine as a consumer can be solved using Six Sigma. Okay, and similarly, if you're in telecom sector also, you being a consumer as well, and you see that a lot of times your handset is not, your network is not working, your handset is having problems, you're having some billing issues, you're not happy with what you've been called, your the quality that is being provided by Airtel, Vodafone, and in the network is not being up to you. So telecom sector like Airtel, Vodafone also face these kind of challenges, and they also deploy Six Sigma rigorously. Moving on to this slide, guys, though I keep this slide in all my sessions, and I see a few of you have already attended some of my sessions when we work together. Uh, guys, there are two very important message from these slides. Two important message, and I would give it to you. Can someone talk about what are the two key messages from this particular slide? Even you have done Six Sigma, even you have not done Six Sigma, I think this question is for everyone. A very logical question.
So it's being used all over the industries. It's not specific to particular industry. So most of the industries are using Six Sigma.
Okay, so well done, Amar. Uh, most of the industries, you see Bharti is there, Motorola is there, uh, Tech Mahindra is there, GE is there, HP is there. All of them are, all the sectors which I just talked about earlier. These are the companies have become successful after deploying Six Sigma rigorously. And it's not that they have done it once, it's a continuous improvement process. They are doing it day in, day out. So that is a one message which Amar talked about, that all the kind of industries are using Six Sigma. What is the other message that you can think of? Any other message that you can think of that uh, which I just talked about?
Hey Simar, this is Saurav. All these industries are successful in their sector by implementing Six Sigma. So that
Absolutely.
is the end of the
That's the
Yeah.
correct answer. All the names that you can see on the screen are the leaders in their respective fields, respective domains. And as you can see that you may have worked in these companies, you may are working in these companies, you may be using their services. So that's this. So the reason for keeping this slide is to make you aware that Six Sigma has a lot of potential. A lot of things can be done using Lean Six Sigma, and that is the benefit which organizations are taking from us. You see in any organizations, you take an example of Amazon, you take an example of Genpact, you take an example of British Telecom, you take an example of uh, Sun Life, Tech Mahindra, UHG. All these organizations have a separate team of Six Sigma professionals who are doing really fantastic. Okay, so they've been doing really good, and that's the reason they have specific teams, because they really want to focus and invest on their people, and that is why it is being driven in a great way. Okay, so I think we have discussed enough. uh, some of the benefits at a very high level, guys. Having said, we have already talked about it helps to improve the customer satisfaction, because when these improvements are going to happen, your customer would like to continue with you. Reducing the cycle time, uh, the total time taken to complete any services. Okay, for example, the customer, the vendor has asked for the payment, and they have raised the invoice, you have released the payment within the time period. That is where the customer is happy. If you're not able to do that, it is a dissatisfaction. So all the reducing cycle time related. Productivity is very important aspect of every organizations. All the business leaders wants to improve productivity, so Six Sigma can be leveraged here. Reducing the total defect and errors, I just talked about. Decreasing the work in progress, I just talked about, especially in manufacturing and service, when there are a lot of services or goods have been initiated but not have been completed yet. Okay, for example, in service, customer request for new account, you have initiated it, but due to a lot of discrepancies in between with different departments, you have not been able to open the account for the customer, and you see a lot of such transactions where there's a lot of work in progress. So organization wants to decrease it, and process efficiency is bound to come when all these happens. So these are the crux and high level business problems which organizations are facing, and if we can leverage that, we can utilize Six Sigma in a good manner. So that is what the high level benefits of Six Sigma, which people should take out. uh, Now I'll get into some kind of a technical part, uh, which is very important for us to know, because, and that is what I'm going to talk about data in a detail now, and I would like to interact with you and ask you a few questions also. But up till now, we have just talked about a very high level, just enough. That's why the session is awareness, not the certification session or a training session. But I haven't said anything which you are not aware of. This is just a recap. But till now, before I get into the types of data, uh, I would like to take, if there's any question of any sort that you want to ask, which is there in your mind, I would be more than happy to answer. Okay, it seems like we are good. So guys, uh, I will get into data part now, and wherein I will help you distinguish between the different data types. This is one of the most important topic of Six Sigma. Not the only topic, but very, very important topic, because if you are able to distinguish between the data types, then you would be able to do your analysis in a better manner, because in Six Sigma we also do a lot of analysis as well, and that's how it's important. But if you're not aware of which data type to use, you may end up doing a wrong analysis. Okay, so if you get a chance to look at this again, I would suggest that data type is very, very important, and I would suggest you to go through it very, very rigorously. So having said that, there are two types of data which we usually use. Um, Either it's a continuous data. Okay, what is continuous data? Continuous data is a kind of data which can be broken down into smaller parts and which still makes sense. Data which can be measured. So for example, you have a data type which you can convert into a different unit. Let's take few examples here. Time. You can convert the time from one time zone to another time zone. Okay, so if you are in India, you can convert it into some other time zone. The time is in hours, you can convert into minutes. So what we are doing is, any data which can be broken down into different smaller parts, that is continuous data. Price, you can convert price into rupees, paisa, dollars, pounds. Okay, same data set, but you can convert into a different unit of measurement. Height, if you have a data for height, you can, if you, let's say you have data for centimeters, you can convert into inches, convert into feet. Okay, weight, the data which is in kgs can be converted into grams, pounds, etc. Temperature, distance. So guys, all these are example of continuous data, and I would just like to use my Excel sheet to make you understand. Give me a second, I'll just open the Excel sheet and help you understand it in a better way. Yeah, so I'm just resharing my screen, and you'll be able to see it in a. Okay, so I've just opened a blank sheet, guys, here, and I'm helping you to talk about the continuous data. Pardon the spelling. Uh, so again, saying continuous data is, it's a type of data which can be further broken down into different subunits. Okay, so we are not doing a data segmentation here. We are not doing a data analysis here, guys. It's very simple. What I'm saying is, any data that you have, you're just trying to convert into a different unit of measurement. Okay, so let's say you have a data for cycle time, and I think cycle time is everybody understand. Or if you are working in a call center, it's a average handling time. So let's say you have a cycle time data for a particular process for a month. You have data for, let's say, September, and the average cycle time, let's say, is 300 minutes. Okay, can I convert cycle time data? Yes or no? Can I convert cycle time data into different unit of measurement?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Okay,
Yes.
right. I can say this is 5 minutes. I
5 hours.
can convert into, sorry, I can say this is 5 hours. Okay, I can convert into seconds as well. I can convert into milliseconds as well. So I'm not changing any data type. My data remains cycle time. It's just that I'm changing the unit of measurement from minutes to hours, because in continuous data type I have the opportunity and leverage to change the data type. Okay, so I'll talk about the second data type also, wherein we don't have that leverage. Similarly, in HT, It could be in minutes. I can convert into hours, seconds, etc. So guys, just go back and look at your respective processes, okay? And let me know 2 or 3 examples of continuous data from your respective area, wherein you have any data type, wherein you can change the unit of measurement. What are the data types that you can think of? Give it from your respective industries.
SLA, maybe.
So Rakesh, when you say SLA, how would you be able to convert? Can you give any unit of measurement for the SLA? Is it
Again,
in
it will be
percentage?
no. So sorry. Maybe it is again in cycle time units. Maybe minutes,
Yeah,
hours.
absolutely. Yeah.
It is
So your
repeating. Yeah.
SLA is a kind of service level agreement we will have with the customer. What is that SLA? Is that I'm looking for, apart from what I've discussed. So
Okay.
apart from cycle time and HD, guys, can you think of any other data type which can be continuous? I've just shared the definition and example. Let me know and I'll correct you. So don't worry if you think your answer could be wrong. Don't worry about it. Just make an attempt and I'll help you answering it.
Simar, if I take example from manufacturing, I think it would be scrap rate or defect rate.
So, so Gunbi, defect rate. And can you give me an example? How will that be measured? What is the unit of measurement that you have?
So scrap rate would be in terms of percentage. For example, how many
So
defects we have
percentage.
made.
So percentage, Gunbi, sorry, it's not a continuous data because percentage would remain percentage.
Maybe a
It will be
temperature simmer.
so it has to be still concentrate on the unit of measurement, guys.
Like a
A
torque, sir.
distance. A
Sorry.
distance maybe in meter, kilometers, centimeters.
Absolutely. So give me an example. Give me an example. Kilometer of what?
So
So that you will be able to learn it when you apply it in your respective areas.
Sir, one example, the diameter of the
Diameter of the
shaft,
shaft. Very good. So diameter of shaft could be uh,
10 mm,
10,
maybe
and you can
10
convert into
centimeter.
you can
Yeah,
convert
can be
into
converted to
centimeter.
mm, yes,
Very good.
centimeter
That's
range.
that's an example of manufacturing which we got. What else? Gaurav said volume inflow. Volume is not a continuous. So let's say you're getting 1,000 volume. Can you say, can you convert into any other unit of measurement? It's a count data. Count cannot be measured. So guys, think of how can you convert into a different unit of measurement where unit is getting changed. Volume means I'm getting 5,000 volume on a daily basis. Can't I convert into a different unit of measurement? I can't convert number into something else. Number would remain number. If you score 90 marks out of 100, can I change the unit of measurement? I would end up saying 90 marks only. I cannot say anything else.
Production of coke
Uh,
volume, it can be
Are you
measured in
saying, if you're
liters and
saying in
milliliters.
kg, if you're saying in kgs, Vinod, then your
No,
answer is
not
right.
in liters.
Simar,
Yeah. So production of
Coke in liters.
in liters, absolutely. So we can convert that into different subunits. Yeah. What else?
Simar, one question here. Like the temperature. If I'm calculating it, I mean, I have given a task to calculate the temperature in every 1 hour. So I will be calculating temperature at 12 o'clock in the morning, and then I will doing it for the next 24 hours. So maybe it's 22.4 degrees Celsius and then
Yeah.
24.7 and something like that. So if I'm measuring this thing, then why it can't be a continuous data, and we can change the unit of measure as well from degree Celsius to it can be degree Fahrenheit as well.
It will be a continuous sorrow because it is not when you're measuring it, it is what you are measuring it.
Right.
and I believe from degree Celsius to Fahrenheit, it is not a change. It will be a conversion of one unit to another.
Yeah, so it is a conversion of unit of measurement, Rakesh. So it will be a part of continuous because
Hmm,
your
hmm,
data
hmm,
set remains the same, right? You're
hmm.
just
Mm.
converting into a different unit of measurement. So that
Yeah.
would come under continuous data. So
So
temperature
Simar,
is also a continuous data. Uh,
so Simar,
Another
perfect.
example,
Sorry, go ahead.
We can say anything that we
Sorry.
can measure using tools that can be continuous.
Anything that can be.
That
Yes,
using
sir.
tools. I
Sorry,
mean
let Govind.
the scale, right? We measure distance using tools, right? Meters or maybe uh, the scales, and then weight using the weighing machine, right? So that
Yeah.
data which can be captured using the tools.
Uh, we may or may not say that. Let's see if we can get any example where the scale is not applicable. Don't learn it from that perspective. Just learn from that perspective. Any data which can be converted into a different unit of measurement, the continuous data. A
Maybe
perfect
speed,
example,
speed, car
yeah,
speed.
perfect example is the tenure of the employee. So Rakesh, if you are working for 5 years,
Mhm.
can I convert it into months?
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
data. I'm
and
not
days.
changing.
Yeah.
I can I can say 60, I can say 60 months. Okay, I can convert into days. If I
Yeah.
want to, another example could be total time spent on break in a day. 30 minutes, 0.5
Similarly,
hours.
Simar, another example is turnaround time, which is measured in days, right? We can convert it into let's say hours.
Exactly. So guys, that these are some of the good examples of continuous data. Tanuj, shift of users is not continuous. If you're working in a morning shift and I'm working in a night shift, I can't say Tanuj is working in half morning shift and Simar is working in half night shift. I will. So that is a different data type. Let me just complete that as well. So guys, this was an example of continuous data I've just talked about. Let me talk about the second data type and then your confusion will be gone forever. Just allow me a second and I'll just put that up. So continuous data is understood and I've said it multiple times. The second type of data is known as discrete data. Discrete data is just the opposite of continuous data. Any data which cannot be broken down. All type, other type than continuous data are called discrete data. Discrete have certain variants, guys. I'll just talk about it. First is a binomial data. If you have any data which is kind of pass fail, true false, defect, not defect, that is a binomial data, okay, which is a kind of discrete. Any data which can be in numbers or in count, number of people attending this training, number of people liking this training, number of people will attend this training next time, number of people attrited, okay, any data which has a number. So just imagine number cannot be broken. So discrete cannot be broken. Third type is a nominal data, guys. Nominal data is when you're comparing different subgroups. Okay. So let's say we have different zones like east, west, north, south. Okay. Department A, department B, department C. You cannot say half department A. You cannot say 0.7 department A. So these are just discrete. You can't do any changes with that. The fourth type of discrete data is known as ordinal data. Ordinal is more like nominal, but the only difference is it has to be in order. So guys, when you get your performance appraisals, or when you give a customer satisfaction rating, let's say you walk up to a restaurant, you see the form, it is always in the order. So ordinal word has come from order. If you see here, any data which is in such form, excellent, very good, good, fair, poor, it's in order. However, nominal, not necessarily. I can say department B first, then department A and department C. So the only difference between nominal and ordinal is ordinal is in order and nominal is in any order. But just imagine that this is all discrete. You can't convert these into any other unit of measurement. Some more examples. Okay. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your help because I've been speaking a lot and I would take your help to give me examples of all these. So discrete, any data which cannot be converted into different sub unit of measurement. The first type is binary data or binomial data. We can say binary data. So can you think of any other examples? The one example that I gave is pass versus fails. Can you think of any other example wherein you have a binary data?
Absent, present.
Absent, present,
Yes,
very good.
no,
Yes, no. What
true,
else?
false.
Okay, not okay.
Okay, not okay.
Zero
Basically
one.
survey data.
Male,
Uh,
female.
male, female, that's great.
Safety incident versus no safety incident.
Sorry, Saurabh, can you repeat?
Safety incident versus no non-safety incident.
Safety, I'm writing safety versus not safety. Not
Shift.
okay.
Enter, exit, maybe.
Day shift,
Okay,
night
got
shift.
it. Good, good guys. I get you. You guys are champion. You guys have understood it. Second type of this is count or number. Let's see some 5 examples of number count.
People you
Volume
shift.
received in a process.
Mm, Number of
Number of
transaction,
number of transaction.
number
Writing
of errors or
number of
defects.
transaction processed, number of errors. Think of some real life examples which you face in your day-to-day life. Just don't give generic
Associate,
examples.
Number of students in a class,
association
maybe.
team.
Think, okay, let me just say it once again. Give examples where you see some problem statements. Number of people in a class is not a problem statement. Number of people failing in the exam is a problem statement, right? Think of problem
Yes,
statements
ma'am.
and that's how you'll be able to relate.
Number of bottom quartile identified.
Okay, number of bottom quartile, guys. People were not able to understand bottom quartile is. This is basically the people who are at the bottom in terms of performance. Okay, so if I have 100 people, the last 25% of them are the bottom quartiles. Okay, because the quartile word comes from there. It's the 1/4. What else?
Number of defective units.
Number of defective unit, or you can say number of defects. So though it is covered in number of errors, think of more issues and
Number of
problems.
employees absent.
Number of employees absent, absolutely, that's the good example.
Number of movies watched.
Number of movies watched. Is that a
Attrition.
Yes.
problem? Is that a problem or is that entertainment?
Attrition rate maybe.
Sorry.
Number of missed call.
Number of, so guys, think of
Iteration.
a problem. Think of a problem
Number
statement.
of people. Number of people at right.
Number of people left the organization or attracted. Okay,
Number of abundant calls.
very good. So especially people who are working in a contact center, this is one of the biggest problem, because when the calls are getting abandoned, the customers can't reach out to you and then they
Number
give
of
you
number of accidents.
number of accidents. Okay, got it, guys.
Number of pending cases in a queue.
Thanks so much. And move to the next one. The next one is nominal data. Nominal. Guys, can you give me some examples of nominal and just to reiterate when you're comparing people? Guys, I can I request you to put yourself on mute when you're not speaking? Thank you. So, can someone give me the examples of nominal data? It's a categorical
Like
data.
operations, quality, HR, admin. These are all functions or domains in the organizations.
Okay, can you give me some characteristic about it so that so how do I relate it?
Different
Can I say
function.
Right? Number of
function?
different
Functional data.
different departments. Like
So different departments like ops, quality, HR, finance. Okay. What else?
Different type of home. I mean, types of home categories in a society. Maybe 2
And
BHK,
can
3
you name them,
BHK.
please?
Maybe
Can you?
Different subjects in the class, maybe?
Different subjects.
Yeah,
Yes.
so different subjects like English, Hindi, maths, science. Okay.
Team
Different
leads in a
designations.
process.
Different designations. Yeah.
Team leads in a
Yeah.
process.
Team leads in
Different
a process.
workstations.
Okay, different team leads. So guys, I hope you can now relate to what I'm talking about. And all of them, when you were giving examples, I'm sure you must be thinking in your minds that these are good examples when it comes to solving problems as well. And these are the ones which you cannot break now, right? You cannot break into any different unit of measurement. Last but not the least, it's ordinal. Um, any example, I
Appraisal,
think, which,
appraisal ratings,
okay, can you name few, Rakesh? Give
uh,
examples.
maybe brilliant, good
Brilliant,
work,
Met
good work,
expectation.
good work, meet expectation,
ED,
and NI.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
CSAT
Uh,
rating.
CSAT rating, okay, excellent, VG, good, poor. So anything which is in order is a example of ordinal data. So guys, so why I emphasize on data type is because when we do a lot of deep dive analysis, unless and until I don't know, because as of now we are just talking about data. In Six Sigma, the major part is focused on solving problem using different tools. So for every data type, for continuous data type, there are different tools available to solve problem. For discrete data type, there are different tools available. But if you're not able to distinguish and use a wrong tool, you will not be able to solve the problem. That's why whether you are in define phase, whether you are in measure phase, whether you're in any phase, uh, these tools would be very important, and that's why I took a lot of time for you to understand the data type. Any question anybody has? There is one more data type which is called percentage, which also comes into a discrete category, because in percentage also you cannot change the unit of measurement. 55% would be 55%. Some people might differ with me by saying I can round off, but here we are not talking about rounding off. Here the definition is very simple.
So I can convert in CGPA, SGPA,
You can convert it into,
CGPA, SGPA.
yeah. So that's why since there is a lot of debate always happens between continuous and discrete for percentage, that's why it is being considered as a discrete data. So it will not be part of continuous, it is always be a part of discrete. And examples could be percentage of people failed in the exam, percentage of errors, percentage of
QA
people
score.
attributed, right? So that's why it is again a part of discrete, because you can round it off, but you can't change the unit of measurement. It would remain percentage. There are a few questions coming up. Are days of the week ordinal or nominal? Very good question. What do you think, guys? Let me ask this question from you, and we need to ask a very good question. Uh, are days of the week ordinal or nominal? When do you start your day? Do you start with Sunday or Monday? So I think that
It's
depends.
ordinal.
These are
It is
ordinal
all.
data.
It is always ordinal, because that's how you'll be able to see the trend. No. So for example, if you have a data uh, for, let's say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and wherein you have data against number of defects. So 10 defects, 6, 4, 5, 3. And this is one data type. And another data type that I have is, I have data for Tuesday, Friday, then Wednesday, then Sunday, then Monday. And let me just copy paste. So guys, did you notice this again situation if exist, which means that there are a lot of missing data points. I have a data for Tuesday, but have not got for Friday. Could be a possibility that there was no defect, but if there was a defect and data is not available, then I might be in trouble. So that's why the days of the week is always has to be in order. Even though you don't have any defects for Wednesday and Thursday, just put a 0 against it. Do not leave anything blank. So number of weeks as we speak should always be in order, and similarly month of the year as well should always be in order. You will not have any skip in between because the work is happening regularly and that's how it should be. So this is what I wanted to, I made an attempt to make you understand the difference between discrete data and the continuous data so that you guys can relate. And when we proceed further in our upcoming session, you will see the relevance and importance of the discrete and the continuous data. Anybody has any questions so far? Or whatever we have covered, and especially on discrete and continuous, I think because this was little technical and little bit different from what we usually think of. But any question anybody has, else we can move to the next topic. Okay, so guys, we are going good in terms of speed. We still have an hour left and we have covered a bit of it, so we can move on to the next subject and see what we have in for us. Okay, and now guys, I will like to though it is not part of my slide, but I want to make you aware about Six Sigma in a methodological standpoint. So I'll just use a different sheet to make you understand that the entire Six Sigma that we talk about is a kind of a methodology wherein we focus on improving the current state. It could be any organizational issues or problems, wherein, as I said earlier, it's a step-by-step process. It's a very structural method wherein we have different phases in it, right? It starts with the define phase, wherein the focus is only on defining the problem. We are not doing anything in this particular phase. Let's say you anticipate a problem, or you identify some opportunity that let's take an example of food app application company. Let's say Swiggy is one of the biggest organization in terms of food app, is facing an issue wherein they are uh, not able to provide the orders within the limited time. Okay, so the problem statement is Swiggy is taking average 30 minutes to complete the order, and 30 minutes starts from when the customer request is placed till the time the customer receives the order, or maybe the customer receives a first call from the food app company. That's the problem statement for them, because when they did the benchmarking and when they checked with the other competitors, they have found that it is too much time and they want to reduce it to, let's say, 20 minutes. So this is a problem and they want to reduce it to 20 minutes. So coming back in the define phase, guys, and define phase is pretty lengthy. We will not be talking about what could be the reason, what could be the solution, what could be the external factors. We will only and only focus on the defining the problem. That's it. So that is define is only about defining the problem. Even though you know some of the reasons due to which there is a delay or there is a problem, just keep it with yourself. We will talk about later. Second phase of Six Sigma is called a measure phase, where we kind of measure the process capability, wherein we check whether the process that you're working on, for example, you're working for a banking process, wherein you want to improve the turnaround time of customer complaints. In that particular area, you are just trying to see whether that particular process is capable enough to solve that particular problem or not. So we kind of measure the process capability. Okay, so all of these are tools, guys, and when we do our another series of sessions, I'll intend to cover all of them in detail, and also validate the data. So we also validate the data whether it's good to go or not. So measure phase is only about checking whether I'm capable enough. For example, let's take an example of cricket. Virat Kohli has a capability to score century in every match, but he's not able to do it. So in the measure phase, I see whether the process is capable enough to solve that or not. So we do a lot of capability studies in the measure phase, which we will talk about in the upcoming session, that how do we do that, to even investigate and see whether I should do that hard work or not. If the process is not capable, I would say to the business leaders that, we will not be able to solve this problem. First, we need to do the basic process hygiene, and then only we'll do it. That's the kind of check that you do in the measure phase. In the analyze phase, as the name suggests, we analyze the potential issues or causes which can impact. Okay, so guys, let's just do a very simple exercise, which is wherein what we're going to do is wherein we will just try and see what could be the reasons due to which Swiggy is taking 30 minutes against a target of 20 minutes to complete the order. I'm not looking for any solution right now. What I'm helping you to do is that how to do an effective brainstorming session to identify the potential causes. Okay, we have a defined agenda later, but I just want to know from you that what could be the potential reasons. What do you think? Let's talk about 3 or 4. What could be the potential reason why the order that you have placed is taking more than you expected? Can you think of some
Delay
reasons?
from delivery guy.
Delay from delivery.
Transport issue.
So when you say delay, guys, always remember, whenever you do a brainstorming session, you as a leader should always question the person. It should not be that you listen to it and you write it. When somebody say delay, what kind of a delay? If you don't know that delay, how would you solve that? Whether, so I want to know the exact issue. What is a delay from the service guy?
Maybe a
Was he
navigation
Booking or
delay, exact
garnishing
location.
time maybe.
one by one?
Traffic.
Let's
Traffic, rainfall.
so let's
Traffic.
say navigation issue. Okay, so due to the navigation issue, the delay, there's a delay. What else?
Weather
Traffic.
conditions.
Code breakdown.
Uh, vehicle
Traffic.
breakdown. Okay,
Traffic
traffic,
delay from restaurant.
rain, climate, etc. Okay, what else?
Delay from
So,
restaurants.
Simar, sometimes it depends on the restaurant we are ordering from. So, suppose if that is a popular restaurant in that particular location, so that would already have their own customer who are having dining experience, and there is only one kitchen who is preparing the order for both dining and the takeaway. So that can
Maybe a
also cause a delay.
peak time.
Very good example. Very good example. What Raman said. So Raman said a restaurant is not able to prioritize uh, between takeaways and dining. Very good, and that's how the order is getting delayed. What else?
Rider.
Sorry, I think it was
Occasions,
Peak
festive
hours.
occasions wherein the orders are, yeah.
so festive occasions would come under the uncontrollable factors where we talk about traffic, rain, climate, because this doesn't come every day. This comes once in a while. So that would come under here. What else?
Machine could be a problem. Machine could be a cause of delay.
What
Machine
kind of
that is
machine are
taking
you talking about?
systems that are taking the orders, they may take a processing time. This
Very good.
can take
Very good.
more time.
We know that the time starts when the order is placed. So are you talking about that as a customer, I got a confirmation that the order is placed, but the
Yeah.
restaurant hasn't received the order yet, and due to the lag, For example, I got a confirmation at 4:10, but the restaurant gets the request at 4:20, and due to that lag, they start the cooking late. They prepare it, they do the packaging, and that's how the entire process goes for a toss, and that's the reason why we're not able to do it. That's a good one. So I think what you're talking about is delay from. So guys, that's how when you do the brainstorming, you have to question, because until and unless you don't know exactly what the cause is, how would you solve that? Okay. So delay from sorry, issues in the app, that is order confirmation to order placed by customer to order received by hotel. Okay, good. What else?
Furthermore,
Multiple orders at a one time.
multiple at a time.
Multiple orders at, okay, let me go one by one. So multiple orders at one time. By whom? Are you talking about by a
By
delivery
the
guy?
delivery, by a delivery man boy.
Very good. So what you're trying to say is that a delivery guy is getting multiple orders uh,
Picked at the same time maybe.
so this is something which we will validate with the help of data later, but yes, I understand what you're talking about, due to which they are not able to prioritize, so that's how it got delayed. What else?
Maybe a will issue from delivery boy as well.
Okay,
Sometimes
that's
I observe.
very good. So delivery guy has some other priorities, and that's a kind of a will issue, and that's how he's not able to do that. What else?
Maybe a peak hours when you order.
Yeah, that is covered here. That is covered in the uncontrollable factors. Think from a cooking perspective as well. I think we all thinking from a technology perspective, which is really good. We're thinking from a
Manpower
delivery guy
issue.
perspective. I think, yeah. So manpower issue,
Garnishing time.
one by one. Manpower issue from the cooking team,
Restaurant.
from the delivery
Yes,
team,
yes.
from the order
Yeah,
Maybe
cooking
processing.
team.
Very, very specific. So
Number of chef. Uh, let's say we have only two chef, and the orders we are getting is let's say more than 20-30 orders in an hour.
so so limited chefs available in the hotel. Okay, that's a good one. For example, let's say I'm running McDonald's, and if I receive 100 orders at one go, and none of them, I cannot process all of them at one go, and I've committed everybody. Another I can think of also is limited delivery boy also. If I don't have a lot of delivery guys, how will I be able to cater it? I can cook it on time. I have a good amount of chefs, but I don't have enough delivery boys. How would I be able to do it? So limited delivery guys available. Uh, what else?
Maybe poor governance in the restaurant. Even the order is prepared, delivery boy is there, but nobody is taking care whether that delivery boy is picking the order correctly or not.
I think so. What you're talking about is that everything is being managed. Everything is not being managed properly. I think the handover from the order ready to the delivery guy is taking a lot of time. For example, there is
Yeah.
a guy who's supposed to hand over the packet to the delivery guy, and that particular
Yes.
person is kind of not doing his duty. So good point.
Yeah.
Lack of governance from the packing to hand over to delivery guy. Okay, so let's be limited to 10 causes. The reason why I did this exercise to make you aware, guys, that in Six Sigma, if you would have noticed, in the define phase, my focus was not at all on the causes. In the measure phase, on define phase, my focus was only on defining the problem. I'll talk about in just a while that how do we do that. In measure phase, my focus was on checking the capability. In the analyze phase, I am analyzing the factors due to which there could be a problem. Okay, so that's how we do. In the improve phase of Six Sigma, guys, we identify the solutions. So likewise, in the analyze phase, we have just focused on identifying the causes. In improve, we will focus on identifying the solutions against each of the cause which we just highlighted. Okay, so we'll talk about in detail, and then I'll tell you how to do that. Identify the solution, implement the solution.
Simar, I have a question here. So, in which particular phase we will prioritize on which particular problem we wanted to solve first? Is it
Yeah,
analyze or improve?
yeah, analyze. Absolutely. We are just doing a
Analyze.
very, very high level overview, but yeah, when we will get into that particular topic, we'll talk about it. So everything
Sure.
needs to be. We cannot go with all. In the analyze phase, the first step is to identify the potential causes. What could be the reasons? That's why I was not kind of questioning you that why it could be there, why it could not be there, because anything is possible. And later we do the prioritization, and I'll talk about how to do the prioritization in our sessions. Okay. Uh, last is the control phase. So guys, in Six Sigma, the DMAIC methodology, which is also pronounced as DMAC, by the end of the improve phase, you will be able to solve your problem, right? So by the end of improve, you will be able to implement all your solutions. So you'll be able to reach the delivery time from 30 to 20. So you will be able to solve your problem at this how. In the control phase, we are just sustaining, we are just making sure that it doesn't go bottom, it doesn't fall down. So we are just sustaining, controlling the problem. Okay, so if I just summarize it in a very layman terminology, this particular methodology, I tend to take a medical terminology. Okay, for example, I'm not well, so I walk up to a doctor and I define my problem. I would tell him that, sir, I'm not well, uh, I'm feeling ABC, I'm feeling feverish, I'm having headache. Okay, doctor is going to measure it. He's going to measure it using certain equipments, that what kind of a problem that I have. He will use thermometer or a BP machine or something like that. In the analyze phase, he will ask me to do certain test. Maybe you go for an X test, you go for this test, you go for that test. Basis those tests, he will like to give me some remedies, which is the improve phase. In the improve phase, I will take those medicines, I will take that treatment, and I will be fine. In the control phase, I'm just taking rest. I'm making sure that I don't fall sick again. So that's how this entire methodology is linked to the medical terminology as well. That's how the focus is on defining the problem, measuring, analyzing, improving, and controlling. Guys, usually in our organizations, we also do problem solving. I'm not saying that Six Sigma is the only methodology will solve problems, but generally we don't do it structurally. Whenever we get any problem, we start solving the solution. We do not get into what the problem is, what is the impact, how, who all needs to be onboarded. We never look at first identifying the causes. So that's why Six Sigma methodology is quite different from the other methodologies that we use in our day-to-day life. And those are sometimes not even methodologies. Those are just common sense, process knowledge, external factors, best practices, etc., etc. Right? But Six Sigma is none of the above. We can leverage all of these in Six Sigma, but the prime factor is the step by step. So that's how, and this is just the beginning, guys. In each of the phases, we are going to get into a lot of detail wherein we will talk about it. But this is one of them. So, and I have to cover more as well. So I'll move on to the next part. So guys, in define phase, when we just learned about how to define the problem, we prepare a kind of a project charter. You must have heard this document a lot of times, wherein we kind of prepare a document wherein we list the problem in a very systematic way so that we would be able to start working on it. Okay, so As I said, it's a document that provides a framework and objective, what is expected out of the project. Okay, there are certain activities that we perform under project charter. First is a business case. So we prepare a business case, problem statement, goal statement, scope, milestone. So I'll just first of all let you see how does the project charter looks like, and then we'll talk about it. Guys, this is how a typical project charter looks like. Okay, it's a template, and in which we have to write English. It's a part of define phase. We are in the define phase. We are not focusing on any of the solutions right now, nothing, no of the causes, only and only we're focusing on the problem. I'll talk about in detail, and there is an exercise where I would expect you to prepare it for any of your areas. I'll just talk about what to mention in what of the areas. So business case, that is how we talk about business case. Then we have Sandeep will talk about Rasik in just a while. That is a part of define phase, but I'm just right now focusing on the charter. I just move ahead so that you should be able to see what I'm talking about, right? If I just speak and you will not be able to see, you'll not be able to relate. So that's why I'm showing you how the typical templates looks like. Then we have an opportunity statement or a problem statement. Some of the organizations hate the word problem, and that's why they use the word opportunity. So they say we want to improve, but every project charter or every defined phase needs to have a goal statement, because you would have to take an approval from the business leader to do the project, and the business leader is not only interested in knowing what the problem is, they also want to know when and by how much you will be able to improve. The same example, let's say you identify an opportunity that Swiggy is taking 30 minutes and you want to do a project. Your leader would say that's great, but how much you can reduce it to and by when? Then we have a project scope, in scope and out scope, what all lever that you want to include and what you want to exclude. We'll talk about it. Then we have a project plan, guys. In the defined phase itself, you will make a kind of a project plan, and we'll talk about by when you will be able to start and by when you will be able to end. So typically, guys, uh, define takes 2 weeks to get completed, because you have to prepare a project charter, you have to identify the team, because a project cannot be done by alone, it requires a lot of team efforts, and you have to take a sign off as well, and you'll be supported by your black belt as well. So if you're doing a green belt project, you'll be supported by a black belt. If you're doing a black belt project, you'll be supported by your master black belt, we talked about in the first slide. Measure phase also takes about 2 weeks, because you do some kind of capability study, you do data validation. Analyze phase is going to take certain time, because the way we were doing this exercise, this was not the only thing we do. We do a lot of data analysis, we do prioritization, we do hypothesis testing. Hypothesis is something which we do in black belt, wherein we validate a lot of stuff. So this takes 3 to 4 weeks depending upon the scale of the project. In improve phase, you identify solutions. Some of solutions could be technology solutions, wherein you implement kind of some automations, bots, you do some kind of an RPA. Some solutions could be behavioral solutions. So that depends on the time. Sometimes it's a policy change. Sometimes it's related to people also. So typically it takes 4 to 6 weeks. So Six Sigma is not like a project which you complete within 1 month. It takes time. And control phase, even though you have solved the problem, but you cannot complete the project. You have to give a proper control plan at the end of it, so that you would be able to say that the project is completed. Okay, so that's how it again takes 4 to 6 weeks. This is a typical project cycle for every phase, and that's how what you need to mention the dates here. Okay, so let's say today is 24th till 15th of October, etc., etc. So you have to give the start and the end date. And here the project team, sponsor of the project. Sponsor is the global head or the head who's managing the entire process. Champion is the one down who's heading that particular process only. Champion is the one who's sponsor is the one who's managing other processes as well. Okay. MBB or mentor. So master black belt's name needs to be mentioned here. Uh, project leader. So project leader is always you when you're leading that project. So you'll mention your name. Black belt / mentor. So if you're doing a green belt project, then the black belt would be applicable and you will get rid of MBB. You will mention his name and then the name of the team members so that you take their help as well. I'll also talk about how to identify a team. I'll also talk about what all team members should be included. Maybe not today, maybe in the upcoming session, because today is just an awareness session and we are going to do a lot of stuff. So guys, this is what I want to make you aware that how this template looks like. And now I'll make an attempt to tell you how to prepare a strong business case, strong goal statement, strong opportunity statement and everything. Okay, so I'll go back and talk about each of them in detail. So yeah. Okay. So the first section was a business case. So guys, business case, as a name suggests, if I ask you, anybody in this room, what comes to your mind, guys, when we hear the word business case? What do you think? I understand you might not be aware of it, but I just want to know from a theoretical perspective. What do you think business case could be? What should we do in the business case, or what should we document in the business case?
Details of problem statement and the urgency to resolve that.
Details of problem statement
And the urgency to resolve that. I mean, it should replicate in the business case that we need to, resolve this problem as soon as possible. So,
okay.
My opinion is more towards the urgency and the impact. What is the impact if we are solving the problem? We are not talking about problem here. We are only talking about whatever we are solving, how big that is, and what all important parties going to be impacted once it is solved.
Okay.
And what we are going to achieve from this business case.
Yes.
What we are going to achieve, Rakesh, would come under the goal statement. But yeah, we are talking about just the business case. So there are a lot of discussions happened, but I have just put together that there are 3 or 4 things that you put together in the
May I,
business
sir?
case.
Hello?
Sorry, Sandeep. Yeah.
Yes. So in business case, basically the what type of benefits are going to be the company, basically, like in the term of profit, in term of customer satisfaction. So what type of benefits going to be from that problem solution, basically, that come under the category of business case?
Okay. Not exactly only the benefits, but yes, let's see that what we can do, guys. In the business case, as I said, it's only English that we need to write. There is no such kind of data that you want to put together initially. The first thing that you need to talk about is a brief background of the process. So for example, you're working for an insurance process or you're working for a finance process. Let's say you're working for an invoice processing process, wherein your responsibility is to process the invoices raised by the vendor. So your duty is to make the payment. So you need to give a brief introduction about the process that you're managing in the first or second paragraph. Sorry, it is not the slideshow. So I'll just second very important thing, how this project is identified. Guys, a lot of project is being identified by the voice of customer, wherein the customer complains that I'm not very happy, or the client complained during the weekly monthly call. Sometimes it is discussed by the business, so your leaders discuss it during the strategy session, or maybe some of the focus group that we should improve our margins, we should focus on attrition, we should improve on customer satisfaction. So you need to give a linkage that how this particular project is linked with the organizational big goals. Just imagine you're working on something which is not the organization priority, why would your business give you a go ahead to do it? Because it's, as I said, it's a 4 to 5 months affair. Why would somebody give you 4 or 5 months to solve a problem if it is not the big problem? So in the business case, you need to link the organizational priority with your particular project priority. And that's how it is very, very important for you to put in the business case. Examples could be, one of our organization's strategic priority is to reduce the cost, and I want to do a project on reducing the cost for transportation. So you need to link that how your project will solve the CEO or COO or CFO's goal sheet. If that is not there, you will never get a sign off. So you need to show that linkage is the second thing. Third thing, how it is a priority and why should we do this project? So we will talk about the impact. Okay. And what are the consequences of not doing it now? Okay, it is important, it is linked to my organizational goal. Why can't I do in the Q4? Why do I have to pick in Q3? Why do I have to pick in Q1? And when I'm saying Q, I'm talking about quarter. Okay, so that's how you need to show an urgency of why. So that's how what you can showcase is, in the last quarter we have already incurred a loss of 5 million USD. If the project is not initiated by the end of this quarter, we might end up losing another 5 million. So you need to show an urgency in the business case. So once again, a brief background of the process that you're managing, how that particular problem that you're trying to solve is linked with the organizational big problem, why it is a priority right now, and if I don't do it, what is the impact? Let's say P&L impact, let's say customer satisfaction, let's say NPS. And if I don't do it, I might end up losing the business. My customer might not renew the contract. My customer will move to some other competitor, etc., etc. So that's how the business case has to be strong enough so that the leader who is going to review should feel that yes, this is what I want to do. So there are
So
some
that's what
kind
I
of,
mentioned, Simmer. Until unless you do not put that, what is it going to benefit me, nobody will approve it.
absolutely, you're
So
absolutely
in the
right.
business case itself, or in a business statement, until unless you do not put the benefit, we are doing so much things. What is the outcome of it? If it is not a business critical, if it's not yielding any benefit to me, why should I do it?
Yeah, either a benefit or either loss of not
Any
doing this problem.
yeah, anything related to the PNL as you mentioned.
Absolutely. So let's say the same example and good point. Even if you say that I might end up losing $300 million, or if you say I will be able to do a cost avoidance, it's one of the same thing. So benefits or could be a saving is one of the same thing. So that's how you will clearly articulate in the business case. Okay, you may not require some fact and figures as of now, because for that we have a problem statement wherein we can quantify the problem in detail. But here you just want to give a context to the business that this is a big problem that we want to solve, that is the organizational priority as well. It has to be linked now so that we can solve it. Okay, so that is what business case is all about. uh, let's talk about the problem statement. One very important line told by Mr. Albert Einstein, that if I had 1 hour to solve a problem and I would spend 45 minutes thinking about the problem and 15 minutes looking for a solution. So generally what we do is, uh, we know the problem, but it is in the minds of people. We don't know how to write a good problem statement. We fail miserably when we get an opportunity to write a problem statement. When we write, either we write half problem statement, either we write incomplete, either we write uh, uh, fact figures not available. So we are not very good at writing it. And when we're saying I include myself also, right? And that's why Mr. Albert Einstein was focusing on. So what are the do's and don'ts of the problem statement? One problem statement should always answer what is wrong or not meeting a customer need, whom it is impacting, Is it impacting the internal customer, external customer? What is the impact of the problem? So I'll just take some examples and tell you about it. Guys, I'm saying it once again. Problem statement or the entire define phase should never ever have the potential cause or the solution. Even though you know could be the reason, but just hold it to yourself. Do not mention it to the on the problem statement. Can someone think of why do we refrain ourselves for talking about the cause or solution? Is it just because I told you, or do you think there could be some logical reason why we do not mention the cause and the solution in the problem statement or in the defined? What do you think? Just want
There
to
If
is a
hear.
we
solid.
already know the solution, then it's not a Six Sigma project. It could be a lean. You already know the problem and you can simply solve it.
Yeah. So
That is
if
one
it's
of the reasons.
that is one of the reasons. If I already know the problem and if you tell it to the stakeholder that let's take the same example, uh, 30 minutes average time to complete one order. And sir, I know the reason because our transportation system is not good, our vehicles are not in good quality, our delivery boys are very, very less trained, our technology is very poor. If you talk about it, he said, let's go and implement it. Because Six Sigma is all about identifying the causes as well, right? So that's why you're right. Uh, we will, and if we do it as well, even though if you do it as well, it would not be a proper structural way because in the analyze phase, we do a lot of data analysis, which we will talk about in the next session. Uh, and that's how it is very, very important for us to refrain ourselves for even speaking about the potential cause or solution in the define phase. Okay, so good. Let's take a few examples now so that all of us can be on a same page when I talk about the problem statement. This is normal, same. Guys, just read this. For example, you are a stakeholder. You are the owner of the customer service process. And I come up to you and saying that, sir, ma'am, I want to do a project. And he or she will ask, what is the problem? I say, sir, our customers are angry with us and late in paying their bill. Do you think is it a good problem statement or a poor problem statement? Just saying like this.
Problem statement.
What about others? If I just say this to the stakeholder or your leader that, sir, I want to do a project. The problem statement is our customers are angry with us and late in paying the bill. What do you think? What should be the response? Is it a good or a poor or a average or a excellent? What do you think?
It's a poor problem statement, Simon.
Poor problem statement. It doesn't talk about a lot of stuff that we just talked about. So it requires a lot of tweaking in terms of mentioning about other stuff. Okay, let's look. Let's move ahead. Now read this. In the last 6 months, ideally we should have mentioned the time period also. 20% of our repeat customers, not first timers. So he's talking about exactly what type of customers, not first timers, sorry, are late, over 60 days paying our invoices. The current rate of late payment is up from 10% in 2014 and represent 30% of our outstanding receivables. This negatively affect our operating cash flow. Do you think it's a better problem statement, improved problem statement from the one which I just talked about? Yes, no?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Can someone tell me what is the exact problem that we want to solve here? What is a key metric that we're trying to solve here? And what is a unit of measurement? What is the
On-time
exact
payment.
problem that I want to solve?
On-time payment.
On
We are
time
looking
payment.
for on-time payment.
So what is the current rate that I have?
So 30% are late or outstanding.
Absolutely. So my project metric is 30% is something which is I am. So 30% of my payment, guys, imagine, and people who work in the finance sector can relate, and payments are being calculated not in terms of number of payments, but in terms of currency. And the people who are in finance can or banking can agree to it as well. But let's just imagine that I'm talking about the number of payments. If I get 100 payments in a month, and out of 30 are late, and if you see from 2014 it was at 10% and it has increased 3 times. 30% of my customers are not paying me on time. That is a problem that I have in hand, which I want to improve. The impact is the cash flow. So cash flow is not my problem. Cash flow is the outcome and the impact. We need to be very, very clear with what is a problem and what is the impact. Always remember, cost, revenue, cash flow, these can never be your problem statement. These are just the outcome of it. Because cash flow is not only managed by your problem. There are other factors also, right? So in this particular problem statement, the problem is 30% is my late payment, and which is impacting the cash flow. So that's what needs to be improved. Let's look at, okay, guys, I would give you 30 seconds. Just read this problem statement in your minds and let me know, either through speaking to me or on chat, is it a good problem statement or a bad problem statement? What do you think? So take some time and let me know whether it's a good or a bad. Okay. And I would be asking you the reason that why it's a bad. Okay. So just let's wait for 20 more seconds so that we get more responses. As of now, the reason that I get is that it's a bad problem statement. Let's see if we get a different answer here. Okay, guys, I see response from 3 or 4 people. And what about others, guys? I can see 33 people on the call and got response from I think only 2 or 3. What about others, guys? I see only the and can someone talk about why it's a bad problem statement? Can someone speak up on the call and tell me why it's a bad problem statement?
I've just now given that in message because it does not actually quantify the scope of the problem or the loss to the business due to this delay, which is estimated 7 days. Though it has 6 months data, but it does not have the data prior to 6 months. So we cannot compare how much loss the business has got because of this problem.
Okay, good, that's great. Vinod, but
So, Simar, it is
just
sorry.
to address Vinod's query as well, and then I will take more questions as well. So, guys, here, can someone either I agree it's not a good problem statement, but can someone tell me what is the metric or what is the problem that we have here?
So well, there is no metric out here. What are we trying to improve by how much?
I think Roy, the metric is here, but it is which is
Turnaround time.
the turnaround time
Is
to
that
process the insurance application form is 7 days. Okay, and I agree. There is no past trend. There is no impact. There is no such thing. So the problem statement is here. Like I can gauge what the problem is, but I cannot see uh, what is the impact of the problem. What is the business impact? And I agree to one more point written on the chat that there is a mention of a root cause as well. If you read this carefully, okay, I'll just read it up. The underwriting office has started to notice that over the last 6 months, the average turnaround time for processing life insurance application has grown up by an estimated 7 days. I don't know how much it has grown up by. Earlier it was 5 days or 4 days. So I don't know. I can't see the YOY or year on year comparison. Upon investigation, it is determined that many applications for life insurance are being half completed and that incomplete information is generating a callback to the advisor to gather the required data so that the underwriter can make an accurate determination on coverage. There is a mention of a cause that it is because the insurance applications were not being completed by the customers, and you have to call the customer, and then underwriting also has to be done again. So guys, this is some kind of insurance terminology which we are using, but I hope you can relate to it. There is a mention of there is a mention of there is a mention of the cost, and it is not mentioned that how it is impacting the insurance business, because if the policies are not processed on time, you will not be able to take the premium from the customers, and that's not how it's going to apply to your accounts, and that's how it will impact the business. So there is no mention of how much is the impact. There is no even mention of the customer impact also, guys. If I apply for an insurance application and if it doesn't happen in 7 days as a promise, I will give a 0 in NPS, right? So there is no mention that this problem can impact the cash flow, working capital, NPS, CSAT. The only mention is of the people, and the people are frustrated. That is leading to delay in approval of life insurance for their clients. I, as an employee, is kind of little scared and unhappy that I might get a bad rating, but there is no other mention. So that's why it is a poor problem statement. And now let's read this. Does it require certain more improvement? So there
Yes.
is a so there is
So,
a so
are we
this is a
trying
message.
to are
Sorry,
we
go
trying
ahead.
to increase? Sorry, are we trying to improve that 7 day delay cycle or?
Yeah, so 7 days is the TAT, and that needs to be kind of reduced. So this is also not an improved problem statement, and I intentionally did not improve it, and I want, so this would be an exercise. I will be sharing this presentation with all of you guys, and this is an exercise for the next class whenever we're going to have, maybe next week. You guys need to come up with the complete problem statement. Not only this, there's an entire exercise which we'll have to do. So quickly, guys, the third section, so we have covered two. We've covered business case and problem statement. The third is a goal statement, and I think most of you are already aware a goal has to be smart enough. Even you are in PMP, even you're doing Six Sigma, even you do PDCA, even you do Lean, goal has to be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Every goal statement should always start with a verb: to improve, to reduce, to increase, to decrease. Okay, so a perfect goal statement should be uh, to reduce, I'm taking the same example, guys, the average delivery time of food from order from was 30 minutes to 20 minutes by, let's say, 31st Jan 23. So this is a smart goal statement. Your goal statement should always start with a verb and end with a time period. It should always talk about what you want to improve and from where to what. So that's how it covers the SMART principle, and that's how it talks about the entire stuff. And then milestone I just talked about. You need to give a date for each of the milestones. Then I'll talk about the last thing, which is team. So guys, in every project, it is the responsibility of the entire team to come up and solve that particular problem. So we prepare a kind of a tracker wherein we put together the team details. So it is, the concept name is ARMI, guys, wherein A stand for approver. So who will be the approver? Who will be the resource? Resource is the person who is required on an ad hoc basis, a specialized person. M is a member. All the project leaders and the members are M are the members, and I is the interested party, the one who will be just informed interested party. So what we need to do is to ensure that each and every person is aware of what he or she needs to do. We need to map it with ARMI. So if you see, the sponsor who is always the global head, who is managing other processes apart from this process, would always be a interested party. He will be required only when there is a need. The champion, the process head, will be a approver in all the phases. You see, he's A from define till control. He's the one who will remove the roadblock if the project is not moving. He's the one who give you a finances if you need any budget approval, if you need more resources, if the project is not moving, if you need external factor help. Project leader is you, so you'll mention your name. So here you have to mention the names as well, and you will also be a member throughout. Team members in cross-functional teams, other teams who are in the value chain would always be a member. Your quality mentor, or maybe people from IT. I'll just add, sorry, I should have added here. So I'll quality mentor or IT team or technology team. So they will always be our guys. They will not be involved in the end-to-end project, but they will always be a resource. Resource are the ones whose skills are used on a specialized basis. You will not have the IT team guy or technology team throughout the project. He might be required maybe in the analyze phase or improve wherever. Similarly, the quality mentor is also required towards the later stage. Okay. So this is something which I'll talk about later, the value add, non-value add. So guys, there is an exercise that I expect all of you to do. You can either mail me or maybe we'll talk about in the next class as well. Since we have talked about the business case, goal statement, problem statement, so I want you guys to make an attempt to prepare a business case and share it with me. And I promise I will give each one of you a feedback, because this is the most important part of any Six Sigma journey. If the project charter is not documented in a way it should be, you will not be able to complete your project, and your project will never get any kind of attraction, right? Most of the Six Sigma project fails because the project charter wasn't documented properly. It is not linked to the organizational goal. The team members are not being onboarded properly. The milestone timelines were not treated properly. There are no periodic reviews happening. To make sure the project charter is designed in such a way, we have to put all our efforts here. So here are two of the reasons. Here are two case studies that I want you to focus on. Two scenarios that I'm giving. You can take any one of your choice. To reduce the defect rate of manufacturing plant from 3% to 1%. You can pick any one of them. To improve customer experience of collection process from 80% to 95%. You can put as much impact as you can. You can give any numbers if you can. You can do as much as you can. I'm just giving you two problem statements. Either pick one of them. Prepare a project charter. That's the most important part, as I said, and share it with me, and I'll be looking at it and will be giving you the feedback. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover today, and I just want to tell you about the next steps. Just allow me a minute. So guys, as today is the first session, and I just want to tell you the way forward. Uh, a minute. So guys, I would love to take your feedback, suggestions for the upcoming workshop. So how would you like today's session? Was it interactive? Was it good? Do you need more clarity? We will leverage the Six Sigma WhatsApp community to learn from each other. So I'll make it open for each one of us to share your comments, suggestions, but don't make it spam. Don't spread other messages. Don't put other messages. Put limited to only Six Sigma and Lean Six Sigma. Uh, I will be taking a lot of sessions on lean. We'll take a sessions on project identification. A lot of problem people face is they know Six Sigma, but they don't know how to apply Six Sigma, right? Usage of Lean Six Sigma tools. I would also be helping you on interview preparation sessions when you apply for a Six Sigma role, what kind of questions should be asked? How should you be prepared for those sessions? And if there are any kind of referrals, jobs which are available, I can probably help you as well. And we will also be focusing on Minitab. Minitab is a perfect tool which we can leverage to solve problems. So these are my contact details. You can reach out to me, email, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, YouTube, and that's how we can leverage. And I would be able to take your suggestions. So guys, any feedback, anything that you want to share for today's session, and I would love to take it up so that's how I will improve myself, and the rest of the sessions will be more interactive. So anything that you want to talk about.
I think it was great, Sumar. So, I mean, you know me personally, so I did my Blackbird like long many years ago, and this is a very good refresher, and I think this is a very good starting point for me, personally speaking. Just one thing that I wanted to ask about is like, so you talked about the Minitab practice. Uh, is there somewhere or some website that I can go and maybe download the version of a Minitab or maybe a cracked version of a Minitab for my practice?
Yeah, so I will talk about it when we focus on the analyze phase, that how we can take it up. Usually we practice Minitab when it comes to the real life data when we are working in an organization. However, if you want to use it for your personal use, then you need to install it on your system. I think we only have 30 days trial period. I think you must have utilized it, and that's the reason you're
Yes.
looking for it. Yeah,
Yes.
I understand. I understand, Shomnil. I'll check and I'll let you know. I'll let
Sure,
the group
that'd be
know
great.
if I get that for sure.
Yeah, anybody in this group, if somebody can help me out, that'd be great.
I'll
Definitely.
see if I can share.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shomnil. Any other suggestions, guys? Any other constructive feedback anybody has? I'll be able to.
Uh, yes, Simar. So first of all, thanks for your valuable time and the feedbacks you have given during the periods. Basically, this is a fresh up for that basically that training. So we also going to attend the further sessions. Basically, one request because most of the persons are doing a job. So if possible, can we plan that session on Sunday? If possible, that's a request only. Uh,
Yeah, that
that's
should
the
not be a
point
problem.
basically from my side.
Either because just to let you know, the sessions would either happen on Saturday and Sunday because I'm also a working professional, so I do not get
Yeah.
time. So I just started on Saturday because that's the first day. Yeah, we can
Yes.
see what most of people say, so we can do our voting and see what most people say. Then that's how we can do it. So that should not be a problem, either Saturday or Sunday. But
Yes.
we'll have the sessions either in the morning or afternoon because I will not be available on evenings, and I understand you also would have some plans during the weekend. So we'll have these sessions either in the morning or in the afternoon so that we have some time back for our families as well.
So,
Is it
Simar,
possible to? Yes. Before going to plan a session, is it possible? Can we gather group inputs like the availability of all the persons on that day
So I
before
can
going
kind
to
of
that
I
day?
can kind of prepare a Google form and send it to you, and I'll see what the maximum people say, and that's how we can share it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks, Rakesh, Ritesh, Vineet, and everyone who have joined this session, taking out time. I really enjoy talking to all of you. few of you I have already known you. Good to hear your voice, guys, and good to connect with you. Let's stay connected, and we'll make this happen, and we'll grow all together. So thank you so much, guys. I'll share these presentations maybe by tomorrow on your email ID so that you can also refer it back. Please ensure that you come up with the project charter of the example that I've shared so that we can get it to a continuous way. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna review the project charters. So I'll ask anybody to present his or her screen and talk about it. So
Sure,
Rohit, yes,
Simran. Thank you very much again.
we'll cover everything which you've written, basic stats, 7QC. Today is just an awareness session, as you say, and that's why I did not cover a lot of stuff so that we recollect from where we left last time.
Sure.
Thank you, Simar, for conducting this session. It's a good refresher. We learned this concept from you almost like 8 years back, and now this refresher is really helpful.
Same for me.
Yeah, as you said, we'll stay connected, and yeah, definitely we'll learn.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Saurabh. Thanks
thank
for
you
your
so much,
contribution.
Simar. Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone, guys. Thanks, Tanuj. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Simar.